Well, hello guys. Welcome back to Kim and Odingo's Relationship Matters. This is Kim here, my husband.
Odingo.
And today topic is really exciting, guys. We still on the episode or the season, how do you call it?
Series.
The series of the issue with trust. And today we want to discuss the issue of toxic relationships, holding grudges, being spiteful, and the pettiness of certain things. And I'm going to start this one off because I think this is really exciting. Because I think when we're talking about long-term relationships and, being in a solid relationship for 5, 10, 15 years, I think a lot of couples really have to work on their relationship. Sometimes you see couples, they've been together for so many years, but that doesn't mean that it was all rosy and juicy and they had just a lovely ride. There were many obstacles that they had to face. And I think in a lot of relationships, this is what we are faced with. I think that's what actually makes a relationship, being faced with all these different obstacles, and how you actually overcome them, and how do you deal with those obstacles when they happen. But today I really want to talk about the issue of being spiteful, the issue of being petty, the issue of being toxic for no real reason. And my thing, baby, is that, in a lot of relationships, for instance, I find if one person, for instance, goes off the relationship and does something that they're not supposed to do. For instance, had like a marital affair. You understand? Right. They've come together. The wife or the husband has found out. Right. They've come together and they now have an understanding. They know, listen, I went out of the relationship and I did so and so. I had an affair. Now I'm coming clean. And then you've accepted and we've worked things out.
Right.
So now we have an understanding. I've done wrong. We've worked things out. Maybe we even went as far as getting therapy. Maybe. You understand?
Yep.
Right. So we've let's just get those points out of the way. So we've worked things out. We came to an understanding.
Right.
And now we've considered, now we have a fresh start, a clean slate, right. And we're moving forward. Right. Both parties are now in agreement.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
I did you wrong, you've forgiven me.
Right.
We shake hands on it. We've spoken about it.
Yep.
We've gone to therapy about it.
Yep.
We've had counseling about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're moving forward. Right. However, the other person in the back of their mind has decided somehow they're going to get you back.
Right.
So they're not going to be spiteful.
Yeah.
So now the entire relationship now is going to be based on getting you back.
Right.
Yeah. Because you've done me wrong. So the fact that we spoke about forgiveness, I've forgiven you. For me, if you forgive somebody, you've forgiven somebody. Right. So my take on that, like, if we said, I've done wrong, you've forgiven me, let's move on. It's a clean slate. I believe it's a clean slate. Right. But the other person have decided, they've agreed with me. They've given me basically a false sense of security. Because they've made me believe that we're moving forward and we have a fresh start. But now they're holding grudges, and now they're doing everything to spite me, and they're doing everything to get me. And now the relationship has become so toxic that it's impossible to move on.
Right.
So it's like, basically, I'm in a relationship, but I feel as if like I'm in a prison.
Right.
Because whether I turn left or right, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing.
Right. Well, what I would say in this particular scenario is it's a very tricky. It's very, very, very tricky. It's a very tricky kind of scenario to try to tackle, because you have to look at it you have to try to be as fair as you can be.
Of course.
And the person who would have actually done wrong, as opposed to the person who is the one who feel like they have been wronged, there's two different perspectives. So, husband and wife together, wife step out of the relationship, she had an entanglement, so to speak, and the husband, let's not say he remained faithful, but he did not get involved in anything. They've come back together, they've agreed, listen, things went wrong, things went bad, whether we were together or not together, or we were together and then you went out of the relationship, one party is going to feel wronged while the other party is going to feel right. We've discussed this, we've agreed we're going to move forward, fine. let's do this together. We have to appreciate that our let's say our the human being comprises of many emotions.
Fair enough.
If I'm the one who step out of the relationship, I would appreciate for you to be understanding of where I was emotionally and mentally at the time.
Oh my God! Sometimes that's difficult to
It
do,
is.
baby.
It
That's
is.
very difficult.
And I think that's the challenge.
That's very difficult to do.
I think
Be understanding
Be
as to
understanding.
why you cheated or why you had an affair.
Of course.
So basically, what you're saying to that other person is that they were not enough.
No.
Because I think that's what a lot of, especially women, because I'm talking from a female point, perspective.
Yeah.
A lot of women will feel, for instance, if their husband did step out of the relationship and had like an extramarital affair, they were not enough. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is, you always feel as if like the one who was left broken feels it's their fault.
Yeah.
It's my fault you stepped out. Maybe I was not doing the right things in bed. Maybe I was not being a good listener. Maybe
Right.
so you start blaming yourself. But when you say things like, I'm supposed to understand where you were, like what place you were at that time, that's really difficult for some women to accept, or even for some men to accept.
That is extremely difficult. These are not the kind of things that you get up one morning and you decide that I'm going to be understanding to this, or I'm going to be understanding to that. Because while someone would say, you've cheated because I was not enough, and they'll begin to feel discounted within themselves. There is the other side where a woman would feel, or a man would feel, you've cheated because you're a dirty, no good, nasty, whatever. And that is where we begin to the relationship. That's where you begin to understand and see where toxicity, where the relationship begins to get toxic, because one partner might think, well, I wasn't good enough, and that's why you went and did what you did, while the other partner might think, very same person might think, you know what, it is not that I wasn't good enough, you are greedy, or you're a horrible, nasty person, because I've done everything that I can do. So when things like this creep into a relationship and one party decide to hold a grudge, it is completely understandable, while it is not acceptable.
Fair enough, I could see that.
Yeah. It is not acceptable, but it is understandable when you can look at what was done in the relationship as something that you do not have anything to do with. Like, I would believe that I didn't do anything to you to make you go and look for someone else.
Yeah, but my point is, if I have now accepted that, and I have accepted your apology.
Right.
I've forgiven you.
Right.
Why am I still holding a grudge? Why am I still trying to get you back? Because at the end of the day, we're moving forward. Because
it is always a situation of, if I believe I am wrong, everyone has this kind of underline, this undertone of justice must be served. If you did wrong, you should be punished. There should be some kind of compensation. You break my doll, you break my car, you break my toy from childhood. Everyone always tried to make good, or to do some reparation. Reparation means they are trying to bring some repair to some wrong that was done. So reparation is always a very that's the way we try to bring sense to a situation that might have gone bad. So that's the reason why the person who feels that, okay, you've done wrong, you've confessed, we've spoken about it, fair enough. Let's look at it this way now. But I didn't do anything wrong. So where do I stand? I just forgive, and that's just that. But I still feel wronged. It takes a really grown, a really mature person, someone who's completely confident within themselves, someone who's very emotionally well adjusted, to sincerely say, I forgive you, we are going to start again, and to not go back, not let that wrong, that dark place in our relationship feed into future
because a lot of people like to bring things up again, like we have a situation maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, and then I bring up what you did, like last time.
Yeah, of
Remember
course.
when you did this to me?
Of course.
And that's the reason why I'm doing this. And I'm thinking, well, I thought we were okay.
Well, let's put it this way. If you're in the kitchen and you got burned by some hot water or you got a cut, it will heal. It will heal.
It will leave a scar, though.
Thank you. And that is why in relationships, couples always, one or the other person would always revisit a situation.
My
because
God. So
the healing will take place, but the scar will remain. And that is why.
So can there ever be genuine forgiveness in that case then? Because it means your relationship is scarred for life.
Scars don't, or the scar don't bear, the pain is not within the scar. The scar is a reminder of from whence we came. The scar is a reminder of the history. The scar is not what the relationship is built on. So if you really value that relationship and you want to take it to the next level and you want things to grow and you want to become the kind of people that and have that kind of relationship that you can get a lot of beautiful fruits from and years of happiness and years of togetherness, and for growth to take place, sometimes these scars are necessary. It's unfortunate to say, but sometimes difficult things happen, sometimes foolish things happen.
And I think these things are meant to happen to actually make the relationship stronger.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people base those relationships on fairy tales. You know what I mean? Like what you see in the movies and stuff like that. Listen, life is hard.
Oh, yes.
Life is not easy. Relationship means hard work. You have to work at it. You understand?
Yes.
And it's going to present itself. It's like playing a game. There are different levels. You know, you just finish level 1 and you're going to get to level 2. Level 2 is going to be more difficult. You understand? And there are going to be different obstacles. And I think when you're going into that place where, you're making a serious commitment, I think you need to adjust your thinking and your maturity has to be at that level where you know that certain things are going to happen. You need to know that certain things... no one is perfect. No one is perfect. I am going to mess up. You are going to mess up. I'm going to do something. It doesn't have to always be an affair. I may do something. I may do something with our finances. I may break a code of conduct with our kids. I may just be out of line somewhere, but something is going to happen.
Be disrespectful.
Exactly. And it means that we have to move on from that. How do we deal with that without being petty, without becoming toxic, or without changing the character of who you are? Because like some people will say, when I met this person, they were such a nice person. They were so nice. They were not like this. They were so nice. And 5 years down the road, now it's like you're sleeping with a different person.
Sleeping with the enemy.
You're sleeping with the enemy, and somebody will say, well, you made me like this because I wasn't this person before. You understand? And I think when it gets to that point, then I think people have to realize, is this actually working? Is it really worth it? Because if I'm gonna change my whole personality, my whole characteristics, my life is going to be so unfair, I'm going to be miserable, then it doesn't make any sense.
That's 100%
you understand?
Correct.
Because as much as we're saying we need to expect those things to happen to become stronger, but how much of it can you take? Because I think that's why a lot of people have all these different, so much broken relationships. And a lot of people don't really seek therapy or guidance because, especially in the black community, for us, we don't really believe in that kind of thing. You know what I mean? We believe we could handle stuff on our own, But I'm just here to just remind everyone that it doesn't really matter what you're going through, in terms of your relationship, what your situation is, what your circumstances, Remember, it is the whole point of a relationship. You are not doing this by yourself. You understand? It is togetherness. It is very important. And we are not reading, a Disney storybook. This is not Cinderella. You understand? This is not a fairy tale. Stuff is going to happen. People are going to disappoint you. I think it's very fair to come in knowing. Don't come in thinking no one is perfect. Everybody comes into relationships with baggages. I come with my own baggage. You come with your own baggage. Some people bring extra baggage.
Yeah.
You understand? Extra baggage.
Extra hand luggage.
That we are not capable, that the other person is not capable of handling. That's why you really need to get to know who you're dating. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think our point is today, we just want to be, send a little bit of comfort, a little bit of message for those couples who are going through, difficulties. Somebody has cheated on the other person, somebody or something has happened. There's a lot of bitterness and spitefulness, But I'm here to say, listen, there is hope. Work on your relationship. Learn to forgive. Yeah. It's give and take. And I'm sure at the end of the day, if you truly love what you have, you can make it work. I truly believe that.
Oh yeah. Can I just make one last point? Very short point. When you we are looking at holding a grudge. When you look at holding a grudge, to hold a grudge, it means that you are holding on to something that was done in the past. You would have actually realized after you've said that you've forgiven this person, forgiveness don't happen overnight all the time. Sometimes forgiveness will take a month, 6 months, 6 years. What would happen is when you say you're going to hold a grudge, you are holding on to the past. And my advice is, if you want to hold on to the past, you're not going to hold on to the person that you say that you love, that you've committed, that you want to love.
My God.
Because holding a grudge means that you are holding on to the past. And the love that you can have, the growth of the relationship can experience is not in the past. It will always be in the present and as you go into the future. So you have to consider, if I'm going to hold on to something that happened, if I'm going to hold on to hold a grudge or try to be spiteful, I have to keep feeding my current and my future situation with the past that was negative.
Wow.
You see?
Powerful.
So I believe in not holding on to the past and not holding a grudge, because that is holding on to the past. And if you're with someone and you love someone and you want to love them a certain way, you have to try to open up the floodgates to what the future has to offer and try to let go of the past and move yourself, project yourself, and you hold on to that person. Let love guide you into the future. Release that grudge and be very unselfish in letting that go, whatever it is, and try to forge a future of love and harmony, of prosperity and growth and togetherness.
Well done, baby. I think you've said it. Oh, my goodness. I didn't know you had so much wisdom in you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Mr. Jackson. Right. Well, thank you guys for another Sunday. Thank you, beautiful people. We do appreciate everybody's comments, and we must say that, from the time this is our 3rd episode, and we've received so many messages from inbox, from WhatsApp, from everywhere. And we just want to thank you guys for supporting, what we're doing right now. And
thank
we
you
hope
so much.
We could inspire someone, and we'll meet with you again next week, Sunday. Have a blessed day.
Have a blessed week. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.